So, yoga. It's pretty much everywhere these days, right? You see it on Instagram, at the gym, everywhere. But what is it really? Beyond all the poses and the workout gear, there's a ton of confusion. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through the noise and get to the heart of what yoga is and what it isn't, based on what our source material tells us. And we're going to start by tackling some of the biggest questions out there.
Okay, let's just get this one out of the way first because it's the big one. We've all seen those people who can twist themselves into a pretzel and thought, yeah, no way, that's not for me. It's probably the #1 reason people are scared to even give yoga a try. But is that flexibility a requirement to get in the door, or is there a little more to the story?
And then you have the other side of the coin, right? The idea that to truly do yoga, you've got to, disconnect from everything. Quit your job, leave your daily responsibilities, and go live on a mountaintop. Is it really a practice that's just for people on some kind of purely spiritual quest? Let's dig in.
All right, it is time to tackle these ideas head on. In this first part, we are going to look at the major myths that float around about yoga. We're going to put what people think it is right up against the reality. First up, this idea that yoga is just another workout, like going for a run or hitting the weights. But our sources draw a really important line here. See, when we think exercise, we usually think of something really intense and vigorous, but the physical side of yoga has a totally different goal. It's less about jacking up your heart rate and way more about building a powerful connection between your body, your mind, and, well, your soul.
And that brings us right back to our first question. Do you need to be flexible to do yoga? The answer is a huge, resounding no. This slide completely flips the script on that myth. Being flexible isn't the ticket to get in. It's one of the things you get from practicing. Yoga is actually the tool that builds your flexibility, which means it's for literally anyone, no matter how stiff you think you are when you start.
Now, this next one is really crucial. Is yoga a religion? Look, while it definitely has its roots in Hindu culture, the practice itself is a universal discipline. The source material is super clear about this. It is for everyone. It doesn't matter what you believe, where you're from, or your nationality. It's better to think of it not as a system of belief, but more like a science of well-being.
Okay, so we've busted some of the biggest myths about what yoga isn't. So now let's flip it and explore what it really is. We're going to shift our focus now from the outside stuff to the internal qualities of someone who truly practices yoga, which you might call a yogi. So this is a pretty ancient description of what a yogi might look like on the outside. And hey, a glowing complexion and dazzling eyes sound pretty good, right? But what our sources tell us is that the real path of a yogi goes so much deeper. All these physical things, they're seen as the side effects of the practice, not the end goal itself.
Now this is the real heart of the matter. According to our sources, practicing yoga regularly actually helps you build a strong moral character. So the true sign of progress isn't whether you can do a perfect headstand. It's about developing these qualities inside you. The focus it takes to hold a pose helps you be more honest with yourself. The patience you learn in a tough stretch becomes tolerance for other people. This is what the path is really about: integrity, honesty, and selflessness.
And all of these internal qualities, they all lead to this one profound, beautiful concept, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Basically, it translates to this feeling of universal brotherhood. The whole idea is that through your practice, your entire perspective just expands. You start to see everyone, your friends, and even your enemies, without any ill will. It grows this deep sense of connection to the entire world.
So, as you can see, yoga isn't just some ancient practice for personal growth. It is totally expanded, way beyond the mat, and into all these different professional and therapeutic fields. Let's take a quick look at just how far its reach has grown in our modern world.
This chart just lays it out all so perfectly. I mean, look at the range here. In therapeutics, it's being used for preventing illness and promoting health. In sports, it helps athletes deal with physical tension. In education, it's actually a career path now. And in medical science, believe it or not, it's being used as a complementary therapy right alongside traditional medicine. It's just incredibly broad. Okay, so this brings us to probably the most important question of all. Why does any of this matter right here, right now? This is where everything we've talked about, the philosophy, the practice, the modern uses, all comes together. We are living in a world where stress-related disorders, the psychosomatic kind, are just skyrocketing. And as you can see here, scientific studies have actually found yoga to be super effective in managing a lot of these problems. Things like hypertension, heart disease, even insomnia. In our high-stress modern life, it offers a real, tangible way to live with a lot less tension.
But the importance of yoga goes even beyond our own personal health. The source material makes this incredibly powerful statement about its potential for society.
In a world that's really struggling with intolerance and conflict, the core ideas of yoga, like nonviolence and tolerance, are being put forward as a possible solution. This really frames yoga not just as self-help, but as a tool for healing on a much, much bigger scale.
And so, that's where we'll leave it. We've seen how yoga is so much more than just stretching. It's a holistic discipline for your mind and your character, with proven benefits for modern problems and a philosophy that aims for universal peace. Which brings us to one final question for you to think about. If yoga really does offer a path to both inner and outer peace, what's stopping us?